Hey, 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 we're back. The Coon Prairie Fat Alberts.
What?
Anyway, we're circled up, and it's time for the If-Bomb.
All right, y'all heard it here first, and you're fixing to hear it again, and you don't take cover, it might be the last thing you ever hear, because here she comes, boy, watch out.
That sounded like the Lone Ranger.
I don't think his horse is that fat.
Not quite. Well, we're going to what if right now. What if you were going to be a teacher in this day and in this age? What would you teach? How would you teach it? And if you could make up all the rules, I mean, everybody knows how it is in today's school system, but what if you could revamp everything? What would you teach, and how would you apply that?
Well, I wouldn't want to be Mr. Cotter.
Welcome back.
Well, he's taught everything, didn't he?
Mr. Cotter.
Yeah.
No, he taught history.
I wouldn't.
He was a history teacher, I think.
That or social studies or something?
Something like that.
Yeah. But I wouldn't want to be in a class full of sweat hogs. Because I've done sub-teaching
Misfits.
in the past, like when I lived over in Bradenton, Sarasota. And I always ended up in the sweat hog class. And I always figured out, well, that's those teachers that taught those classes, they were always taking all their leave time because they needed the break.
Well, I wouldn't want to be in the Brainiac class.
No, I wouldn't. I'd be outgunned pretty quick.
I'd want to be in a class full of people that were more like sponges.
Yeah.
They were just ready to soak
Like
up
a
all the
SpongeBob.
knowledge.
Let
you
us have
could
it,
give.
Mr. KC.
And I would be teaching history.
History.
I love history. That's because that's what I love more than anything. I mean, as far as subjects went.
And your kids would be sitting there
And I would try
writing notes as fast as they could.
And I would try to do a little bit of wacky history, history, things that you weren't actually taught.
Fun facts.
A lot of times, what's the old saying? History goes to the winners.
History
is written by the winners.
Written by
the spoils.
To the victor go the spoils, but the winners write the history or something
like that. But anyhow, there's a lot of history that we never really got taught.
Yeah.
A lot of things were missed on.
It was true.
There's a lot of history that we ain't got the straight scoop on, too.
We still don't have, right.
We're getting scoops some stuff these days.
And I would like to do it in an interesting manner. And I've seen some of these teachers that dress up like a Benjamin Franklin or something like that, and you do things like that to really bring it to life for them. That would be what I would love to do. But not every day.
What class? What age group?
I would think middle age.
Oh, you're teaching adult education.
I think middle school.
Middle schoolers?
Because they're the most
impressionable.
malleable.
Well, if you come dressed up, you'll be teaching drama also.
Yeah.
Drama.
Yeah.
But
history with drama.
I think the little ones, I'd want somebody to go ahead and get them going first, and then I can take over.
You don't want to.
And I don't want them when they're when they know it all.
That's right.
By the time we get to high school, they know it all. So I would want to be a middle school teacher.
Wow.
It isn't middle school. That's the hardest school to teach, isn't it?
That's rough. I don't know. Who'd want to high school?
But I think if you made it interesting,
I think
if you were like a fun teacher and made it interesting, teachers create their own environment, exactly. Some people almost beg to be picked on.
Yeah, that's right.
Teachers included.
That's right.
It's they set it up. It's like they
and we've
lend themselves.
And we've had some of those.
It's unfortunate.
I have. I mean, we've had teachers we just picked on and made their lives miserable. And I'm not proud of it. I'm ashamed of it, really, because some of them it was brutal. But I'm not saying they begged for it, but they set themselves up for it. And I'd like to.
Did they ever learn?
No.
I
can't name
I'm
one
sure they went
did.
to their grave.
they had regrets.
Why was everybody picking on me?
That's right, Charlie Brown.
But some teachers you had that were the ones that made things interesting, and some did make it interesting, but you knew not to pick on them.
Yeah.
In the ideal setting, and we said we could break all the rules if we wanted to. If I were the teacher, I would have you come in, you surrender your cell phones right there. You got them in a box or a little thing with slots, and you pick them up on the way out or whatever. And you do put on a shock collar, and I'd be standing at the front of the class with a remote, like a big TV remote,
Yeah.
and each person would have a number, and I would know what your number was, and I have a settings dial there where I can dial up the juice there, and I would have a pretty good teacher, pretty good class there. They would be well behaved.
Well, Mae Murray, her shot caller was a racer.
And
She could nail you with that eraser.
That's Big Bob Miller's sister was.
She
right?
could.
Yep.
You'd be sitting there doing something, thinking you're getting away with it, and all of a sudden,
Flat,
pow!
right upside the head.
Get you.
Dust to be flying.
Yeah.
Get on your eyes.
I had some teachers that were really wicked with the paddle.
They needed to be,
Carter,
probably.
Mr. Carter in the phys ed class.
Would you be famous for your paddle?
I would if I could wield one. Yeah.
Oh, I would too.
I'd beat him right there in front of the
And
class.
I'd have one that was
Bend over.
customized, personalized to me.
A lot of holes on it.
Like
so
I have my
pick up
name on
speed.
it, Mr. Carlton, and I would have it. A
Heat for the
backside
seat.
of it, you got to sign it once you got the Board of Education applied to your rumpus.
That's right. And that's it's a rite of passage for some
Right,
kids.
exactly. I've signed several of them in my day.
Child, please.
If I was a teacher, I would be an out of doors classroom
I like
teacher.
that. I like where you're going.
Yeah,
Outdoors
I'd be out there
classroom?
on the
Yeah.
beach with all my
Yeah, good luck teaching.
all my students, and we'd be walking
ladies,
along
wear
the
your
beach.
bikinis next week. We're going to the beach. I
we'd be
can see Mel
barefooted
Man now.
and student. This is a conch shell, and we discuss all the ins and outs of a conch shell.
Well, there's only one way in and out.
And they say,
ain't seen the back door
and they
on one
say,
yet.
you can eat this stuff. Now let's go down to that restaurant we just passed a little while ago, and we will experience eating this stuff.
We'll eat some conch
And,
fritters.
and mailman's buying.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't
it'd
think
be
you
on
get
school.
much
School
out
pay
of
for it.
most kids at the beach. Kids like me would be out. All of a sudden, you'd look and you see the seagrass making funny
Yeah.
movements, and you say, "There goes Cody. He's cutting.
He's gone. He's gone again.
we lost him."
No, and then we'd change into art class. Oh, now we're going to build a castle, and we are going to build each. We're going to divide it into groups, and we're going to build each group is going to build the best castle.
That's
and
right.
and it's going to be 2-period castle. You know, like a 1300s. And class over there, you build a 1400. You know, and this is going to be really, you know.
And then each other they lay sage,
Yeah. Then we have a war,
and you kick,
and it would be based on a real war. You know.
you kick the other kid's castle.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, good luck. Well, next week, and then next week we're going to make Mount Rushmore or whatever. I tell you, here's a class I always thought should be taught here, and I wouldn't mind teaching if I had the credentials and all. Would be a class. It would be an elective, say middle school or high school, local history.
Oh, that would.
That's
be
important
Yeah.
because it gives people a feel for a sense for where they live, their heritage, the good, the bad, and the ugly. This is what DeSoto County is about.
Yeah.
I think I've told various people, including Adrian Klein, and we need a class
well,
like
the
that.
Barefoot Mailman. We never knew about him from school.
Sure did. Never
And
heard
we
of him.
should- you
Or
should-
Bone Mazel.
You should have.
Arcadia Albritton. How did Arcadia get its name? I mean,
Right, exactly.
Well, I
when
thought you
Arcadia-
was talking about me, the barefoot
Boss
mailman.
Henry.
Yeah, Boss Hendry. Didn't hear about him. How the county got its name, when the county was created, when it was subdivided into 5
Who
counties.
was the first guy to get hung in DeSoto, or the last guy to get hung?
That's right. We could have interesting trivial facts like that.
Yeah.
When the courthouse was built, and things about Albert Gilchrist, who was here and went on to become a governor.
Then you got to make it real deep. How did that last hanging? How did that affect the country as a whole?
It didn't.
a local hanging, that would affect the country.
Oh.
But stuff like that, I think, would be good. It gives
You
them
got to think outside the box there.
a good view outside the coffin. It give them a good respect, hopefully, for the county. And their ancestors, because you'd be talking about some of them's ancestors, because their descendants are still in the schools right here.
And that's good because it's like
I don't
what
want
I
you
said.
to-
I like history, and I love local history just as much as I do the big history. But there's a lot of things that we weren't taught in school that we could probably use a lot more than some of the things we were taught that we will never, ever
Right.
use.
They had to give you a well-rounded education by teaching a little bit of everything. That was back then, which was a good thing in one way. But today, it's all about the FCAT, and you got to study for a test and then take the test, and that's all you need.
But the most-
You're missing the basics.
The most important thing you can ever learn, in my opinion, is to think.
For yourself.
Be able to figure things out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To look at a problem and solve problems, problem solving, and how to also just apply what you've learned already to to the problems that you run into. So maybe just a problem-solving class would be a good.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea for the real thinkers.
Okay, here's the problem.
Yeah.
Post the problem, and then set out the. How would you test them?
Here's what you do: you divide the room.
Would you have tests?
You divide the room into teams, 2 teams, 4 teams. Here's the problem. Let them go, break up in it, and solve the problem, and come back and present it and say why or why not.
Yeah.
I was also talking to a lady this weekend that you know that was telling me about these kids in this class setting, or so I guess it's sort of a rehab. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but anyhow, she's talking about how one of the things they try to teach those kids is to learn how to prepare for things.
Right.
And like, say, for instance, like they tell them that, okay, tomorrow night you're going to have brownies. But it's their responsibility to find out how to make the brownies.
Yeah, if you want to have them, you're going to make them.
What do we need to make them?
Yeah.
We need oil. We need flour. We need cocoa.
Right.
We need pecans if you want them.
Sugar.
You need sugar. You need milk, and all these different things.
The basics.
And then the other responsibility they have is not only to find out what you need, but to get those items.
Get them, and you got measurements to learn.
And then if the next night, oh gosh, we didn't get eggs, guess what?
You got no binder.
You got no brownies.
That's right.
So
So you throw some okra in there instead.
And I thought to myself, man, that's a great idea to teach kids, hey, it's my responsibility to figure some of this stuff out and to plan for things and to know that I'm going to need certain things.
But you're going to have that one smart kid who jumps up and says, I got this problem solved. They got a cell on them down at Winn-Dixie.
There's always going to be one of them.
So you have to plan ahead. That's it. Once you get to this X point, well, I don't know what it is, like 7 o'clock at night when you're going to make them. If you don't have the stuff, that's to teach them, hey, we didn't do it. We failed our mission, that we weren't.
Teaching them that's good, but teaching them life skills like how to garden and stuff. You never know what direction this world's going to take.
Exactly.
You might have to learn how to kill game and clean it and eat it and do a garden.
That would be a good thing.
Or home remedies.
Life skills. How to skin a rabbit.
First aid.
I think life skills.
Over at Heritage
Baptist Church.
My son, Dr. Bedell, when he'd be teaching the class, he had this deal. He said, if you brought in something that needed to be dissected, well, he'll stop right there and go dissecting it. So my son,
it's not like an obsession.
Found a dead rabbit,
give me a cat
on the road. So it was not too bad a shape. Dad, let's take this to school because I was taking him to school. Oh, okay, put it in the car. We'll take it to school. He took it in there, gave it to Dr. Bedell. Okay, class, let's gather around. We're going to have a dissecting class here.
And that afternoon, his current wife was saying, "What is that smell in the car?"
And little sister said, "Dad, where's my rabbit?
Where's my rabbit? Have you seen Flopsy? I've seen Flopsy since yesterday.
Huh?
Oh, we got to get out of here. So thanks for listening. And what's our frequency, Kenneth?
1480 AM on your radio dial, WFLN Arcadia News Radio.